Imagine it's a hot summer evening in Toronto. You're walking beneath the Gardiner Expressway. Above you, cars rush by, but below, something quite different is taking place. You pass a cluster of benches that is also a colorful public art installation. People sit talking, watching, resting. Children shriek and play in the nearby water feature. Music plays over the speakers, and lights turn on across the site as the sun begins to set. Roller skaters glide past, weaving in and out of people walking and chatting. A lesson begins, some participants shaky on their wheels but laughing, eager to learn. This is the Bentway, a public space founded in 2015, which reimagines a divisive piece of infrastructure that separated downtown from the waterfront as a connector of neighborhoods and people. The Bentway is an essential backyard for over 200,000 residents living in towers along the expressway, but also a destination for the city at large. It is a place to learn to skate in winter or summer, to encounter an interactive work of public art, a place to walk your dog or to meet a friend. The Bentway is a programmer of arts, recreation, and education, a steward of an essential public space. We're a designer and advocate of new public spaces. The Bentway is many things, but tonight I want to talk about one crucial role that the Bentway plays, which is as a public health tool. Across Canada, and especially here in Toronto, it can be surprisingly difficult to meet someone new, to talk to a neighbor, or even to feel that you belong. The pandemic didn't start this problem, but it made it worse. Toronto has been dubbed the loneliest city in our nation. According to the Toronto Foundation's 2023 Vital Signs report, 43% of Torontonians say that they never see their neighbors, and 37% feel lonely at least 3 days in the week. This isn't just a question of mental health, it's one of physical health too. Chronic loneliness also poses increased risk of heart disease, dementia, depression, and even early death. So, with social isolation on the rise, and in a city that is increasingly hard to live in, how do we soften the barriers that separate us? This question guided the Bentway's 2024 summer season, Softer City, a program of public art, events, workshops, and recreation. Applying an interdisciplinary lens, we worked with local and international artists, designers, and public health experts to explore soft strategies in city building, creative interventions that invited interactivity, social connection, and co-creation. To name just a few, we had a performance that invited you to walk hand in hand with a stranger and see the city from their perspective. We hosted a 2,000-person yoga class centered on meeting one another. We created a series of sculptures that created new forms of supported seating. We hosted roller skate parties where you learn to skate. We hosted a 2.7-kilometer run of larger-than-life dominoes that ran across several city neighborhoods and was set up and set off by over 300 neighborhood volunteers. In all of these experiences, you were not just a spectator, but an active and welcomed participant, a co-creator in the experience. And to deepen this work, we teamed up with researchers from the Dalla Lana School of Public Health at the University of Toronto and Gall, New York, to produce a research report on the role of public space in combating loneliness and in order to explore how we might build a softer and more connected city together. Our research found that the Bentway is, quote, a sticky space, meaning it's a space that you don't just pass through, but you're invited to stay in. We found that for every 4 people who pass through our space, 1 stays. We also found that seating invited you to stay and made a difference in social connection and belonging. 71% of people surveyed by us said it enhanced and made more meaningful their interactions. And over half of our respondents noted that our green spaces increased their sense of connection to space and their sense of belonging, while areas which featured public art saw a 20% rise in social interaction as compared to areas without. Overall, the Bentway's design and programming across the summer encouraged social connection. 67% of visitors engaged with one another during the visit. In fact, conversation was the most common activity found on our site, and these conversations were intergenerational. We also found that the Bentway is simply a place to just be. 1 in 5 of our visitors just people watched, finding healing in the presence of others. And being around others also increased feelings of safety. Only 3% of visitors reported feeling unsafe at the Bentway, compared to 15% in public spaces across the city. Feeling safe, as we all know, is crucial to being open to social connection. Ultimately, the large majority of respondents said their visit to the Bentway improved their physical and mental health and their sense of belonging and social connection. Softer City provided learnings that are simple but crucial. It showed how the creation of a series of invitations, whether to take a seat, participate in a program, or just to be near others, can create belonging. We began knowing that public spaces make cities more inviting and conducive to forming connections, but we didn't quite understand how vital they are to our well being in our neighborhood. And we continue to build these learnings into our work today, in our current but also our future public spaces. As we found, public spaces aren't just luxuries, they're critical health infrastructure. Thank you.